झूले झूले लाल द मस्त कलंदर सेवन दी सरकार द मस्त कलंदर झूले झूले लाल द मस्त कलंदर वो सेवन दी सरकार द मस्त कलंदर.
I'm a big fan of India by the Bay, and I've been attending since its very first one in 2015. As an Indian and as a Hong Konger, it's wonderful to enjoy the richness and diversity of Indian arts and culture here in the city. So thank you to Lakshmi and her amazing team for putting on this beautiful show year after year.
India by the Bay is a phenomenal festival by itself in Hong Kong. Each year they've brought all kinds of art, be it theatre, music, dance, film, food and much more. I've just been one of the lucky ones to have attended every one of them. Just love it.
I have attended every one of the festivals that India by the Bay has brought to Hong Kong and have enjoyed the variety of performances they have brought to the city.
India by the Bay is back with 10 special events to mark 10 years of Asia Society's inception in its beautiful heritage site. Every month we will be bringing to you music, theatre, dance, literature, film and so much more. A platform for collaboration and excellence which is in many ways epitomized by the wonderful Asia Society in Hong Kong. Join us every month online to view our digital series and celebrate 10 years of Asia Society, Hong Kong, along with India by the Bay.
This year, Asia Society Hong Kong Centre celebrates its 10th anniversary in this beautiful site. We are so grateful to Sanjoy, Lakshmi, and the entire team from Teamwork for collaborating with Asia Society Hong Kong to be able to bring some of the best arts and cultural events from India to Hong Kong. We look forward to continued collaborations in the year ahead.
Memories cannot be patrolled at the borders. Memories are free. I'm the first generation born in a free country, and I grew up listening to the stories of a land to which I don't belong. There is such a deep connection of what they carried from their land, the memories, the smells, the fragrances, the food, the trees and the stories, the whispers of those leaves, which I think I visited. I even know the lane in which my father, my grandfather, and the past 8 generations lived. Mohalla Marfatiya, Pind Dadan Khan. We carry these stories within us. Our ancestors live within us. We do not realize it. I was gifted a few of the books written by my grandfather, who was a Unani Hakim. The way I saw the books, which were moth written, they had a very strange smell to it, but my heart was warm holding them. I'd like to share some lines, what I wrote when I touched them. I touch you, Pitaji, in moth-ridden books, which I know you have yourself bound, stitched it with your own hands, in the aged smell of fragmented words, of language you spoke, you wrote. I hear the words evaporating in the stories of disintegrated, faded photos, trying to pull out a few spoken words. I try to snatch a few voices, grab them by their form, drawing from them the drawings, some meaning of inheritance, warmth of yesteryears. I felt that my grandfather had touched these books. He had written these books, and today I'm touching them. I am touching my grandfather.
Seema Kohli is one of India's foremost contemporary conceptual artists. Today we enter her home to look at her latest project, Project Home, about memory, and her grandfather, about identity and place. Seema, in many ways, Project Home is really bringing you back to your sense of being, your sense of space and your sense of home.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your grandfather. This particular work that we're seeing has been inspired by his writing. Tell me a little bit about him.
My grandfather, Hakim Chunilal Kohli, was the 8th generation of Unani Hakims of my ancestral lineage from the family tree. I know my grandfather more now because of my father's stories, which are just so precious. So, because you know your ancestors only through the conduits
through the
of
work
your
that they've done.
And the work they've
So
done.
tell us a little bit about this inspiration. Obviously, this is his drawings that you found in his books, but you've interpreted them.
You know, this is about the golden womb. This work that
Of
you
course,
see,
and this comes,
yes,
this represents everything that you've done. I've seen
everything that
this in your
and
work.
when I saw that, I said, oh my God, and the sheath. This is the skin actually he's talking about, and how close it looks to the verses of Kabir or of any other, where the skin is represented as the outer sheath or the cloth the soul is wearing.
This is, of course, World Environment Month, and you were talking about the lungs being representative. Tell us a little bit about that.
Our lungs are hanging out there. I don't know how we cut them on the trees. The lungs are out there on the trees. They are the ones who are giving us the oxygen. And I think somewhere down the line, we did leave it behind, that knowledge, that very innocent knowledge of loving nature.
Our ancestors have always been so steeped in traditional knowledge, and this piece is really memory about your grandfather and the kind of medication that he gave you all, but based on natural ingredients.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about this.
You know, Sanjoy, it is so amazing how these memories unlock themselves. You know, this was in childhood. This is chareta, which he used to give us, during the rainy season, because we would get all kind of mosquito bites, boils and everything. I have collected all these herbs, whatever I could, from Khari Bauli, that is the spice market, the traditional old spice market of Delhi. And I went there looking for all the little herbs that I knew about. This is the tree bark, and this is also pounded in this. This is a traditional hammam dasta, which was my grandfather's. So this is very old. This is not an old one, but this is extremely old. So these are the different other herbs which I have collected. And I also remember that, my grandfather would make kushta. Kushta was like how the herbs were sort of put in a metal pot and buried in the ground, in the soil, and then slow heat was given over 25 days or something, and then that was fed to us. There are all kind of metals in it. It was horrible to have, but I think it made us like metal, the metal body.
And it created a memory. Seema, I remember every time we went home to our ancestral house, we had to have lunch in kasha, or this,
really?
different metals created. This is not necessarily just copper. Tell us how this came about, because again, you've got the flowers, the herbs, the glasses, the calligraphy.
You know, I think I was going through this very nostalgic phase, and I'd heard about this land, this place, this home. Any home is beautiful, and I'd heard so many stories, and as I was growing, I think I became more and more obsessive about knowing and understanding from where and what are these stories, what they mean to me. And that is when I was reading, and I came to know that about the fact that there used to be kasa mining, and the utensils were specially made in Pindadan Khan of kasa. So I inquired from my father, and he says, "हाँ, बहुत बनता था उधर कांसे का मतलब."
They used to make there was a lot of metallurgy.
Absolutely. I got these and I painted the herbs. I also painted various flowers which were available there, the cacti, the rose, kheti which was done there. My grandfather, I still remember, would be so insistent of putting all the flowers from the garden together to make gulkand, because they were so used to having it as a part of their daily food, with their roti. The foods were very simple, but they were very different. They were all health, and this is what I came down to. And I think I just feel nice looking at the dinner set, probably imagining a family
the
sitting
repast
down.
of the past,
Yes,
memory.
Yes, again,
and the
memory.
sense of home. Memories are such incredible things, and here you have a whole cupboard full or a box full of memories. Let's open to find out what exactly you have here.
We are nothing else but memories. Absolutely right. This is the memory of my grandfather's cupboard. His pitara, where he used to put all his medicines. I haven't seen actually, but I've heard so much about it. This is also about the time when medicine was not a profession. It was a way of life, in spite of the fact that this knowledge had been handed down generations, but each and every member of the family was a part of that person's life who was the medicine man. So all the children were given the jobs of filling these bottles with different herbs, different medicines. So I wanted to talk about this very importantly because each child, there were 5 children, my father and his siblings, and each one was supposed to contribute to the profession in a way that somebody had to give a bath to the ailing man, somebody had to feed him, somebody had to clean him, whatever was to be done was done. So here I wanted to show my aunt's job. Her work was to make these puris, you know. So
This is how the medicine was put in.
Yeah, the medicine was, it was so biodegradable, mind you, paper. And they would make put in the medicine and keep it here. This is one of the very old tarazus, scales, which was probably used by him or something.
To measure
the quantity of herbs, because everything was given with a lot of care. So I wanted to share all this with you. You know, our hands, everything was done by our own hands, and even if the medicine was given, it was not packed in some cellophane or some tin.
And this is
sheet.
about traditional knowledge.
This is about traditional knowledge. So this is another memory which opens up.
Seema, much of the work that you've done is about being healing, about the chakras, and you receive your work through meditation. And this is one such example. Tell us how the golden womb, which is at the very core of your inspiration, features in most of everything you do.
Yeah, I think it is the idea of love. It is the idea of sharing. It is the idea of belonging to one single space that we all have emerged from. There is that one umbilical cord which probably ties us all. I just imagine that whole world, we are all connected to each other as we are coming out of one single space. And that is the most beautiful, I think, feeling or an emotion which is portrayed in all my works. It is the idea of love, of the fact that there is no other, there is no one different. If we start looking at ourselves, there is some connection between all of us as we emerge from the same single womb, the same single space, that golden womb.
Seema Kohli, the idea of love is such a strong binding energy. It really has been reflective in so much of your work. Thank you for sharing this particular exhibition of yours with us and with the world.
Thank you so much.